Hey, Coach. Know you guys scrimmaged with the young guys last week. I was curious. I believe it was Friday. You said. Just curious how things went, and there's some stuff about Cade Renfro out there. I was wondering if you could address that also.
Yeah, we I thought Buckner looked well. Really did a good job in the scrimmage. Offensive line played well. Chase Larry picked a pass, took it back for a touchdown. I thought Coley threw the ball well. Eric Thomas made some plays. Towards the end of the scrimmage, Renfro was just planted in a non-contact injury, but he planted and so he'll be out. He has an ACL, so he'll be out for a while. But I hated it for him. Just planted and gave way on him, and so I'm very sad for him. The whole team is, but it's a part of the game that obviously you wish you could get rid of, but certainly happened.
I'm sorry to hear that on Renfro. Are you guys transitioning now to more Penn State starting today, or was that already something you already started doing?
No, today was our first day on Penn State, and we talked about them in the team meeting, and then certainly the entire practice. We had basically a Monday practice, Trey. What we're going to try to do is pretty much do a full, let's say September, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, without full pads. We won't go full pads, but it'll be shells. And we'll do like a full rep count of September, then come back next week and do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in what we would call, a November type, which would cut down some reps. But this week here, we're going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just like we normally would if we were playing a game in early September, minus the full pads.
Thanks, Coach.
Tom?
Hey, Sam, with the Trey Williams news, who you expect maybe starts at end and how those reps might be divvied up? How you think the position will hold up there?
Well, I think we'll be fine, first of all. But, Jashad Stewart, let's see, who else would take? Eric Thomas would take some of those. I think that would be the guys that would probably take a little bit more than what they normally have. We'll move Eric there some, we have a few more inside players. It depends, if we play 3 or 4 down front, which we will play both. But I think that's probably who, right off the top of my head, would take the extra reps.
He had been going to bowl practice, so was this something that maybe he would have gotten a 1-game suspension from you, or how did that play out?
Oh, I don't know why I'd need to answer it. I mean, he's opted out of the bowl game. I mean, he's not on the team. I mean, we take them case by case, but he's opted to go into the NFL. And I don't know, you're asking me what if he wasn't a senior?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, probably could have used some reps from him in this game, I would have thought,
I don't think that was a question.
No.
Thank you. Asked me what I'd do if he wasn't a senior. Is that right?
But yeah. What would you have done if he wasn't a senior? Maybe
I would have suspended him for a game. I would have made him run. I would have asked him to go to get some rehab help, and then we had gone on a game-to-game situation after that.
Okay. Hey, I'm wondering if you've heard from former players, if you could name maybe some former players who've reached out to you just in terms of how they feel about where you've got the program right now.
I really haven't, Tom. I've not many of them. We've been so busy. I imagine we'll get together afterwards. We had a lot of coaches here from different schools here today, but not many former players. But periodically throughout the season, obviously I've gotten some texts and things of that nature, but not a whole bunch of them yet, Tom, to be honest with you.
Okay. And then I was talking to Travis Swanson at the Burlsworth ceremony, and I asked him if he thought, because he supported you for this and everything, and if he thought you'd win this fast. And he said, I knew he'd win the team over. And so I'm wondering, I don't know what you think about old Travis there.
I love Travis Swanson. I mean, not just because he was a great player here, because he's an unbelievable teammate and team leader and things of that nature. It was easy to coach when Travis was on the team because all they had to do was watch him work, but he was one of the few players that would call me and say, Coach, I don't think you're coaching me hard enough. I want everything you have. And, but he's just a wonderful human being and supports the program. And I'm proud of what he's doing in his life, along with his what he's doing in his job and his career.
Thanks.
I don't know if you've got questions. Dudley?
Hey, Coach, obviously a lot of excitement about the early signing class, but there's also a lot of kids around the state announcing that they're going to, come here as preferred walk-ons and stuff like that. How important is that program, especially in this day and age, when you're limited to 85 and injuries can be such a big deal?
Well, I think the walk-ons is taking a new life to me, because, there's academic money that we can help them with that we weren't able to before. So I think, you might be able to, Dudley, get a guy that's maybe has a 1AA Division II scholarship, that, especially if they're in state or they can have some type of in-state equivalency, you know what I'm trying to say, equivalency across the border. I think we can be a little more selective with our walk-ons right now, because it's not going to cost near the amount of money, or at least $3,000 to $6,000 a year less than what it would normally. So we're being a little more selective. We obviously want to go inside out. We'd love to get the kids from the state of Arkansas first.
And obviously not everybody's going to turn out like Grant Morgan and have wanted to be a Razorback. I think there's something to that, don't you? In terms, you've always got to have talent, obviously. But
I do.
Having that edge.
I do. I believe walk-on scholarship. I think it certainly means a lot to the kids from the state of Arkansas, and I think that's a big reason. Well, we owe it to the state, first of all, to start inside our state in recruiting, whether it be walk-on or scholarship, but we owe it to the state. But after that, I think it means a lot because, they've been born and raised Hog fans, so yeah, I think you're 100% correct.
Appreciate it.
Coach, you mentioned some of the defensive ends that need to step up now with Trey out, and last week you talked about the wide receivers. Could this be one of those deals where this is almost like an audition for next season? I
think so. I forgot to mention Zach Williams. I think his reps will amp up as well. Trey, I think you asked that question. But, the rest of it, I think it's going to help us in the long run. Certainly nobody wanted what happened to happen, but it did. And we handled the situation as quickly as we possibly could. But I think you're 100% right. I think because of whom I talked about, those guys will all be back next year. And so I think it will be a nice little audition for them.
And last week, I asked you about the quarterback and not bringing in someone, and you said you felt really good about your depth. Does Renfro going down, does that change anything or?
Well, I think it certainly makes you look, I think if you ended up doing that, you'd certainly need to sit down and talk to Malik and KJ about it before you ever would do it. I just don't know. I think one of y'all wrote or asked me about, scholarship numbers and all those things. And man, I just don't know. I know it's going to be fluid. And I think at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to get 6 more scholarships, but you'd have to lose 6 kids to the portal. And I don't know if it'll happen or not, but it seems like it's headed that direction, with number wise. So if we got to a total of 6, will we use it on a quarterback? Possibly, but Coley's getting a lot of reps right now as well. So I think you'd have to wait a little bit over the next week and a half to find that out, whether you felt comfortable there or not. And he's getting a lot better. So we'll just wait and see on that.
And real quick, Jalen Catalon coming back with his shoulder. Do you know if he's going to be ready to be able to go through spring ball, or what's kind of the timeline for him?
Well, I think he would be ready to go through spring ball. We'll certainly be cautious with him, and he probably won't. We wouldn't put him in any live scrimmages or anything of that nature. We might put a green jersey on him, a little bit like we did Hayden Henry last year. In spring we kind of took all the hitting off of him because he was trying to get his shoulders healthy too. But I believe he can be out there all the time, except maybe live scrimmages.
Clay?
Coach, I'm ask about another walk-on, Nathan Perroti, and just what he's meant to your team. I see you starting to smile, and just kind of what kind of guy is he? And
He's
we
awesome.
return
I mean, he's
punts.
a great student, fine teammate, workaholic, doesn't complain. I'm gonna put him on scholarship next semester, and not because he came and talked to me or anything. He's earned it, and so his last semester we'll be able to pay for his schooling. But he certainly has been a great Razorback, and we're awful proud of him and what he's done. And more importantly, you ask about a guy, you can tell a lot about a guy on the way his teammates look at him and the way his teammates talk about him. And he's one of the most popular guys on this team.
Would you also kind of just go through your cornerbacks in depth?
Corners.
Corners. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I think right now, obviously Mo Brown is one of them. I'm looking over here at the board so I don't miss any. Hudson Clark is starting for us right now. Him and Day Bishop are back and forth there. I think Kari Johnson has worked his way up in that 2 spot in there. And we like Chase Lowry. He's young, but I think he's going to be a good player for us. Keywan Parker, we like Keywan. He's had a really good few practices here. And, we have an opportunity. Slusher's playing a little bit of corner as well. Greg Brooks has played a little bit of corner as well. Obviously, what we're saying is we're a little heavier at safety than we are at corner. So we're trying to find a few more corners or the best corners that we have, which we certainly believe that we have our best ones out there right now. But we're looking at a lot of those different guys out at corner as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Otis?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned quarterbacks. I think Andrew was asking about it. Is there a situation where Landon Rogers would go back to quarterback?
Certainly as a thought, that would certainly save us number-wise, especially for spring ball.
Right.
We don't want to slow. That's a great question. We don't want to slow Landon's potential at tight end or wide receiver, one of the two. Barry's trying to get him over on defense, but we don't want to slow down his potential there. But at the same time, he's got a live arm, and we certainly have that in the back of our mind that we could move him back quarterback for spring. But again, it would only be if we thought he could be A2 or A3. Otherwise, we feel like he can be a 2 or better as a tight end wide receiver.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Tom?
I'm not sure we ever followed up with you on Jalen St. John and his wrist. If you could update that, and something on Ray Curry. Haven't seen him some in these bowl practices.
Well, St. John has been hurt. He was not at practice today, so I'm not positive what's going on there. I got to talk to him. Ray Curry's not going to the bowl, so that's probably why you haven't seen him. Other than that, I really can't elaborate on St. John because I don't really know any more than that, Tom. He just didn't show up for practice today, so I got to talk to him.
Dudley?
This time last year, I guess you were getting ready for a bowl, one that COVID ended up, stopping. But as you go into this bowl on January 1st, just talk about the difference in maybe what you've got to go out and recruit with these 8 wins and playing a New Year's Eve bowl, and just how that would make 2023's recruiting, easier, but still put into work.
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty good start on 2023. Obviously, in this league, you have guys that finish in the top 5 every year in recruiting, and those guys are certainly hard to beat. We want to be known as hard to beat in this region, whether it be Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Texas, Louisiana. We want to be a team that, man, Arkansas offered them, they're going to be hard to beat. And with this surge of winning, that certainly has helped us, and I believe will help us, especially early here. We've gotten a lot of returns on our text messages, and people, very, very interested in us. So I had a few guys say they want to come. So yeah, I think it's helped us tremendously, to be honest with you, Dudley.
Hutch?
Yeah, Coach, I saw where Coach Carter said on Twitter the other day that, Monteric Brown's one of the top DBs in the 2022 draft. Has Monteric decided that he's going to leave after this year? Has he made a decision on that?
No, not to me, he hasn't. But right now, I don't know what he's going to do. He hadn't come to talk to me, but right now, I would say he probably not going to come back, but I haven't had that conversation with him yet.
Have any of the other guys, I know Wagner's coming back, but have any of the other guys made decisions? And is there like a timeline on when you'd like to have like a final decision from those guys?
No, unless somebody wants to talk to me about it, and tell me exactly what they're thinking, we still have a game to play, so a lot of time, most of the time you do that after the bowl. Some guys will come in and say, do you know what my draft status is? And if they want to, at that point, they're trying to figure it out. And I've talked to, I believe, all of them about that. And and some have said they, won't think about it. And some said basically they're leaving. And some said they don't know yet. So we'll have a lot of conversation after the bowl game with the seniors and the super seniors.
And then the last thing I have, I know at one point you said there was maybe some talk for some of these early signees being able to come into bowl practices. Is that something that's going to be able to happen?
Yeah, we actually had JJ Hollingsworth here today and Caden Henley here today. It was awesome to see them looking around lost, Yeah, they I walked up to them a couple of times. I said, hey, you see all these guys around here, they were lost too, just kind of fit in where you get in. And both of them played the scout team today and went through individual, but it was great to have them here. And it's, it's fun to watch those guys. They have no clue what's going on, but they're so excited to be in Arkansas gear, so yeah, they were both here today.
Appreciate it.
Ray?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Ray Curry not going to the bowl game. I think that's what you said. Is he returning with the team?
From what I understand, he'll be back in the spring. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason he's not traveling?
Not that I want to talk about.
Okay. I asked you what the team's plans were for Christmas and stuff, but I don't think I asked you what your plans are. What do you and Jamie got going on? And do you have a Christmas wish list, football related and non-football related?
Yeah, to win the Outback Bowl would be my Christmas wish. But no, the kids are off around noon. We will be off around 1 or 2 on Thursday. And I've got some shop. I haven't done a lot, so I got to sneak out. Before I go home, I'll just grab something. I'm behind. And then we're going to go to Pittsburgh, Kansas, to Jamie's home Thursday, come back after breakfast on Christmas Day, and then start packing, because we live the next day, start packing for the Outback Bowl. And no, I pretty much have all the things I want in life, and been very, very fortunate. So I don't need much, but I would like to have an Outback Bowl win. And other than that, everything's going pretty good, buddy.
Yeah. Plenty of food to eat. All right.
Last one, Clay.
Well, I was going to ask what you wanted for Christmas, but Trey beat me to it. Has there been a Christmas present, so to speak, delivered by a player that has just kind of jumped out and said, man, that's a nice Christmas present, seeing that guy?
Man, you guys are asking some good questions today.
Deep thought.
No, I tell you what, I'm seeing Tykees Crawford out there. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. And he's kind of a guy that's behind the scenes, but I think he's going to be a really good player for us. So that could be kind of a present. I think Eric Thomas is coming along. I think he could be kind of a present. So, and right now I'm not losing any of our coaches, and that's a present. I don't want to. I want them all to stay here. And obviously people are coming after our coaches. We had success, but my Christmas wish list to be keep who we have intact, and hopefully we can do that. And I'm talking about support, staff, recruiting staff as part of that, and certainly assistant coaches.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, and thanks, Coach.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Coach.